Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Sandra and I make videos all about cybersecurity, having a career in technology, as well as work vlogs. So it's been a while since I've done a career Q&A, and I know there is 6.5k of you guys now, so thank you guys so much for following me on my career journey and for all the support you've given me in the past almost 2 years of having this channel. And for those of you who are new to this channel, hi, my name is Sandra and I work in cybersecurity. And nowadays in my current team, I mostly focus on the cybersecurity software delivery strategy, as well as automation and Python scripting for my current team. So I'm basically going to be answering questions about my job and my career that's really only been about 2.5 years since I graduated college with my bachelor's degree. First question, what is your favorite part of your job? So really I would say it's being able to network and work with different people, as well as mentoring. So it's really all the people aspects of my job and being able to talk to different teams, work with different areas of the company that I normally wouldn't have been able to talk to if I wasn't in my current role that I am today. Another part of that is also mentoring. I have many mentors, and I also mentor a few people who were hired in the company after me, which I never thought that I would take on a mentorship role in any capacity, especially so early in my career. But I really find that it's helpful because you have so much knowledge and information to be able to share with someone after even just 1 or 2 years in your company. You have a lot of know-how and kind of like connections for who to talk to and different things in your company that someone who's newly coming in would really benefit from knowing. And maybe the second is just being able to learn things and kind of have a lot of freedom with that in terms of what technologies I use, what ways I go about doing things. I have a lot of autonomy in terms of what I choose to do, especially because my manager is very supportive and I guess my technical creativity, I'm not sure what the word is, but like if I want to use Python for something, she'll let me use Python for something. Of course, I still give insight into why I made that decision, which kind of helps. Second question, how do you manage your time? So I definitely think this is an easier question for me to answer because I don't have kids. I don't have anyone who's really relying on me for food or taking them places like someone who might be already have a family and a house and a mortgage might. But I currently am a cat foster mom, so that is temporary, but that is kind of taking up a bit of my time. But that really is kind of like the highlight of my year at this point. But I do think I'm someone who has a lot of projects going on all the time. So just in terms of everything that I'm doing on top of my normal 9-to-5 full-time job, YouTube, Patreon, Instagram, my podcast that I want to start again. I do some freelance writing every once in a while. I have a mentorship career website. I create digital products for cybersecurity careers, also linked down below if you guys are interested. I've been kind of working on merch for the channel, but it's very low-key and not that time consuming at all. But I try to have a social life, but if you guys watch my vlogs, I don't really do that much, especially because a lot of my friends are out of state. But yeah, majority of my time does go into editing. I work out 5 times a week. That's like a must for me. And I currently have started picking up reading daily, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. But in terms of managing my time, I find that what works well for me is just being able to have a to-do list and a very managed calendar. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think when it comes to scheduling and to-dos, I'm very type A with that because if there's something that's relying on me to get done, it's always on my to-do list. I always have something on my to-do list. And managing your time really is just prioritizing what's important to you. And if something's important to you, you will make time for it. Like, I didn't think I had time to foster 3 cats, but now I feel differently because I have those cats now, and it's something I care about and I prioritize taking care of them. So really it's all about cutting out as much as possible things that you don't care about, don't bring joy into your life, and getting more of the things that you do care about and make you happy. And if you're doing things that make you happy, the time component of it really just flows because you don't feel like it's a burden or that, ugh, I have to make time for this. It's more like, I get to make time for this, or I get to spend time on this. What do you do at work on a daily basis? So I think I've answered this previously for different roles that I've had in my company, and I was a part of a rotation program. So basically I've had 3 jobs in the last 2.5 years, which sounds like a lot, but really it's just 1-year rotations. And right now I've been on my current team for about like 4 months. So on a daily basis, if you guys don't already watch my vlogs, I can link one down below if you guys are interested in kind of seeing what I do on a day-to-day. But there's also been some changes in my teams, so I won't be responsible for a lot of these things as much moving forward. And since there's someone else who's coming in to take those over, my team has an inbox that we manage, and there's always requests coming in for different software delivery things. So my team manages that from a cybersecurity perspective, and I'm also in charge of automating things for my team. So there's one other person on my team who is technical, but we use different scripting languages. So I mostly use Python nowadays. Didn't really like Python that much, but now I really come to appreciate how easy it is just to set up. Obviously not for something large scale and building out large infrastructure, but definitely for scripting and lightweight automation. So basically I use Python to automate a lot of things for my team. So yeah, managing different requests. I will be working with my manager a little bit closer just with some of the software security, software delivery, cybersecurity aspects of the team. So yeah, that's kind of what my day-to-day looks like right now. And a lot of it is really talking to different people. So there is kind of like a project management PM kind of aspect of my role as well, which has been a pretty good learning experience. What advice do you have for someone who's new to your industry? So obviously I have a lot of videos on beginner tips and things getting into cybersecurity, so definitely check out those links down below in the description. But I think the first thing to know is that experience in cybersecurity especially is really easy to get for free, and that was one of the things I really took advantage of when I was just starting out. All the resources that you need to learn the skills, learn the tools, use Hack the Box, try Hack Me. All of them are free or have some kind of freemium edition or a community edition that you can use. Especially with Hack the Box, you can do a lot of different hacking challenges on there, and all the tools that you would use for that, you can get a community edition or it's open source. For example, Nmap, Metasploit, Perp Suite, Zed Attack Proxy. Those are really good tools to learn, especially to put on your resume as a beginner. And those are even what all the pros and ethical hackers use too. So I really think those are good to start with. And you have pretty good access to them as long as you have a computer. You can also download a VMware box for free. You could download Kali Linux for free and learn all the tools on there. And that distro basically has all the tools that you would need as a pen tester for an actual company. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there that are really helpful. And if you're working on Try Hack Me challenges or Hack the Box challenges, there's a lot of guides that people have written up already that you could just look up, especially as a beginner. I really recommend looking at those guides because you're not going to know what to do in your first time hacking into something. You have to see what other people are doing so you can kind of see and copy, but after a while you're going to get your own style of doing things. And even if you're not going into pen testing specifically, I would say the same is for all aspects of cybersecurity and maybe just tech in general, because if you want to learn a new coding language, a new scripting language, a new cybersecurity framework, it's all out there and it's free to read, free to see. Even when I was studying for my Security Plus certification, I was mostly using free resources online. The only thing I really got was this book from Amazon, which was the all-in-one CompTIA Security Plus book, and I think that was maybe under $30, but all the information is essentially online for free, especially on YouTube. If you watch Dr. Macer's videos, he has videos on lots of different concepts in cybersecurity, and it's probably enough to get you through a cybersecurity interview, I'm not gonna lie, especially for, entry-level cybersecurity analyst or other cybersecurity entry-level roles. So yeah, number one piece of advice, take advantage of the free resources that are out there and don't be shy into putting them on your resume, because that's how you get your foot in the door. Who inspires you in your career? So I have a lot of inspirations in terms of career, but I also have a lot of different things that I'm working on. So when I think of career, I'm not just thinking about my 9 to 5, but also kind of just my entire work identity or anything that is involved with my professional or personal growth. And someone who I do find really inspiring is Elon Musk. And I'm sure there are many people out there who have mixed feelings about him, and I'm really just considering for the work ethic and the ability to continue kind of pushing forward and pushing for a way for advancing humanity in a way that I don't think anyone else that I know personally of is doing right now, especially considering the work ethic, juggling so many different companies and different projects at the same time. It's pretty inspiring. I think even people who hate him, maybe hate billionaires, you would probably still think that, this person is pretty hardworking in terms of what they're trying to do for humanity and kind of just trying to extend our existence. But yeah, I do find Elon Musk really inspiring. And I also have a lot of mentors that I find inspiring just personally, and those are my personal mentors, so they might not be someone that you guys might know. But I did have someone at my company who I was really inspired by, especially the way that they drove their organization and led their teams with new projects and giving input and insights to people, as well as making time for making connections with people who are also newer in their career. Yeah, a lot of inspirations in my life, but yeah, I guess those are kind of two big ones. How did you get your current job? So I think I've definitely shared this before on the channel, but there is this Women in Technology conference that I've been attending for the past 5 years, which is a very long time. So 2 years as a student and 3 years as a professional. But this conference basically has a career fair that's part of it. Basically all the big tech companies are there. Any company in general that hires in tech and want to hire female talent in tech, I guess, they basically go there and they recruit from there. So my previous internship at JPMorgan Chase, that conference is also where that whole interview process got initiated, and I met a recruiter from there, and that's basically how I got that internship for my junior summer. And senior year, I went back to Grace Hopper. I also talked to very many companies, interviewed a whole bunch, and I had got an offer for my current company based on an interview that I had there. So yeah, basically that conference kind of made me who I am, honestly. I give it a lot of credit for what it's done for me in my career, and I really do think it's one of the best conferences out there, especially if you're a woman in tech. But if you're not a woman in tech, don't worry, there's lots of conferences out there, and most of the tech companies are there, so I would definitely recommend kind of looking for a conference that is interesting to you, that is maybe close to you, if you could find some kind of scholarship to go there, or if your school is willing to pay for your trip in some way, or if your company even. And these conferences, their tickets do cost a good amount of money, so I do think it's considered kind of like an investment for yourself. If I wasn't going with my company to the conference, I would still personally buy my own ticket, especially if it was in person, because I just find so much value that I do think it's really worth it, especially for the networking, career fair, all the sessions that it has, all the keynote speakers. What drew you into this field? So many of you guys probably already know, but my background is mostly in software development or coding, mostly C#, Java, full stack backend stuff. And I really didn't expect to, be in the cybersecurity role, especially coming out of college. So essentially the person that I talked to at Grace Hopper, which is a perfect segue into this question, he was someone who led a cybersecurity team at the company that I currently work on. Basically, I talked to him about my experiences, what my interests are, and where I want to go, what I want to do. And I kind of stumbled by happenstance into cybersecurity. It wasn't necessarily a big choice I was making, because when I was at Grace Hopper, the only roles I was applying for were software development roles. Like maybe some data analyst, business analyst roles, but for the most part, software development roles. So I spent most of my time prepping for technical interviews, coding interviews, whiteboarding, and if you guys are also software developers, you know that those interviews can take a very long time to prep for. So I never really had any experience with cybersecurity besides that computer security and digital forensics certification that I got from my college, because I only had to take, I think, 2 or 3 extra classes to get that certification, and it was an extra boost in my resume for electives that I probably would have taken anyway. So that was kind of the only thing cybersecurity about my resume, but I think that did help me kind of get my foot in the door for this role. And since then, I've kind of taken on a lot more cybersecurity things into my resume, and I think that is kind of the path that's just formed for me. Obviously, I still want to be active in deciding where I want to go with my career, and I may decide to go back into software development, or I may decide to kind of pursue more cybersecurity niche roles. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Where did you go to school? What did you study? I went to Temple University, and I got my bachelor's degree in information science and technology. So for those of you who ask me questions about what major should I major in, it really is up to you, but I feel like for cybersecurity, you don't necessarily need a cybersecurity degree. Most schools have a brand new cybersecurity program, and that usually means they're not the best compared to, their computer science programs or their information technology programs that are already set up for years and have gone through iterations of students and classes. So really, I would stick to definitely a technical degree, technical major. So computer science, information technology, which also varies across schools, because in my school, information technology, we did a lot more full stack than the comp sci kids, because the comp sci kids were mostly focused on algorithms and theory. They didn't really do as much of the full stack development that we did. All my major did was full stack development. Our capstone project, we had a real client that was a nonprofit or a small company that is in my city, and basically we built out a product for them from scratch with the whole software development lifecycle. We had 1-week sprints, basically following the whole agile methodology. So yeah, I definitely think that project taught me a lot in terms of having a stakeholder, following agile, working with a team. I was working with a team of 4 other students in my class, and now I really feel like I'm going off on tangents, but basically choose your major based on something technical, but it doesn't have to be cybersecurity, even if you want to go into cybersecurity. All the resources, like I said earlier, are free to be found online, and you can just do them on the side and add them to your resume, and it'll be just as good as taking cybersecurity course. Which has been more valuable in your career, your experience or your education? I feel like most people would say their experience, because like everyone says, you don't really use a lot of what you learn in school. I feel like my education taught me a lot about being able to manage time and get to where I am today, because a lot of my time management skills and being able to work with a team, like the capstone project, being able to talk to people like my client for the capstone project, as well as my teachers who were my longtime mentors. I really feel like my work experience has really been an extension of my college experience, because my mentors are kind of like my previous teachers in school and my professors, and my clients and stakeholders are kind of like my senior capstone project stakeholder. So I wouldn't necessarily say my education, but I think the experiences I had in college during my education were very impactful in terms of where I am today and the things I do and the habits that I already have that didn't just, you know, come out of nowhere when I started my job. And since those experiences were all part of my education or my college degree, I guess I would say my education. All right, so this is the last question, but what was your first job? So I think I have a video on my jobs that I've had in my entire life since I was a kid, but my first job, I was about 12 or 13. So basically, it might be a little sketchy nowadays, but I was in high school, like my freshman year of high school, and there's basically this warehouse that packaged candy and licorice and air fresheners, packaging different products. It was basically a packaging factory, and I worked there on the weekends. I worked there this whole summer of my freshman year. I basically just packaged things, and it was very, very little pay. I got paid like $5 an hour, which was obviously very, very bad. So yeah, that's basically kind of like a summer job that I had, my first job ever. But yeah, I know I've talked a lot in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck all the way to the end, let me know in the comments below, what was your first job? I would love to know. I feel like that's one of the most interesting things because you kind of see where people start off and then they eventually are having like these super cool careers. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on post notifications. And please feel free to share any of your answers to any of the questions I answered in this video. I think it would be pretty interesting to start a conversation. I post videos every Wednesday at 2 p.m. and Sundays at 12 p.m. And hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!